Welcome to Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple, with Rachel Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket, thanks to titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk and gold sponsor Podium.
Whispering Loudly is the Workshop Whisperer podcast with the #1 business coach in the automotive aftermarket for New Zealand and Australia, Rachel Evans. And today we are super stoked to be joined by Brad Gannon. He's the CEO of Automotive of Capricorn Society. Capricorn was originally established as a cooperative in 1974 to assist automotive repair and service businesses. 45 years on, Capricorn has grown to over 24,000 auto businesses whose members have purchased over 2.5 billion in parts and services every year from more than 2,000 preferred suppliers in Australia and New Zealand. Last financial year, the monetary and non-monetary benefits of being a Capricorn member were $91 million. And wow, what an incredible achievement. And we have Brad on the pod today to talk about it. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here.
Thanks, Brad. Great to have you back on Whispering Loudly. The last time we had you on the podcast, it was early 2020, and we really hadn't heard that word COVID yet. And we were talking about all of these marvelous things that we could see were coming up in the industry and all these things that we had to look forward to. But for some of our newer listeners that may not have gone back that far in the Whispering Loudly library, can you give us a rundown on Capricorn and membership and what you do there at Capricorn?
Yeah, absolutely. So I lead Capricorn's automotive division, so that operates across Australia and New Zealand. That includes our field teams who look after our members and preferred suppliers face-to-face, our customer and supplier service teams who provide over-the-phone assistance and our supplier relationships, as well as product development and sales operations. As well as the automotive division, I'm also responsible for our group marketing, Capricorn Travel and Events, and the overarching member experience at Capricorn. As a member-based organisation, Capricorn's all about improving the lives of our members by supporting them in building stronger businesses. And the main way we do that is by providing trade finance and facilitating purchases from over 2,000 preferred suppliers. And we can touch upon a little bit later, both instant credit and rewards.
Fabulous. So let's talk about the pandemic now. What impact has it had on Capricorn as an organisation? And have you had to make changes, innovate in any way in order to sort of come out the other side, you know, with all guns blazing?
Yeah, I think like most businesses, COVID at the start had a really unsettling impact. Having said that, we were watching COVID really closely because of all places we planned a members convention to China. So we're looking at COVID really closely at the start. And we did, as part of our yearly exercise, we looked at what would happen if a pandemic was to come to Australia and impact our business. And so that really helped us to plan ahead and to be ready if such a scenario were to occur, and in actual fact it did. So when COVID hit, we were able to kind of rely on our plans that we had in place, start to work through what that meant for our people, our members, suppliers, and our business overall. And I think really importantly, the first things we did was we committed to our preferred supplier partners that they would receive payment for all transactions by Capricorn members, absolutely guaranteed. And for our members, we developed plans to support them both financially and non-financially during the crisis. So things we did included our government assistance directory, we did our member support forum, we produced a whole range of contact repair resources, we did our How to Reboot Your Business online seminar series throughout, and we had more than 14,000 members access or download these resources to help them through COVID. We also paid a special COVID trade rebate of $24 million to support members during the time. And for our staff, we really focused on their safety and well-being and launched a range of initiatives to ensure they were supported and engage through what was a really challenging time.
Avoid mistakes others are making and take your auto repair shop to the next level. To reach out, email admin@workshopwhisperer.com with the subject Workshop Whispers, and we'll answer your question in our next Workshop Whispers episode.
I guess for certain divisions of Capricorn, you have Capricorn travel, where everyone was grounded, myself included, used to be found on an aeroplane every second week, multiple times. And I know as an industry, we've had to learn new things. We've had to pivot in different directions. We've had to embrace technology and innovation. What are some of the things that you've seen either inside of Capricorn or in the industry where we've really had to embrace and learn lessons?
Yeah, I think certainly, as I was saying before, we implemented a number of measures that we thought were really needed to support our members at the start. So things like waiving merchant fees for credit card payments, late payment fees. We put in place payment plans for those experiencing financial hardship. We deferred kind of Capricorn loan repayments, and we allowed changes to our Capricorn mutual policies. And so that, along with the resources and trade rebate, that was special trade rebate we paid, all went to helping manage the impacts of COVID. And we're really pleased that when we surveyed members, they told us that they'd felt that Capricorn supported them really well throughout the pandemic and that our usual levels of service were maintained. I think in terms of, the impacts that we've seen by COVID itself, it really shows that anything is possible in terms of making changes to your business. I mean, a really positive outcome for our industry throughout the journey has been that people have been more reliant on their vehicle, whether this be getting to work or holidaying within Australia. It's also meant more people are buying vehicles, and there are more vehicles that need service and repair. But a lot of the things that people said couldn't be done through COVID, in example, in our industry, contactless servicing was a new innovation. More broadly, managing relationships more remotely, more flexible working, as you say, operating without airplane travel. They were all some of the things that happened. And it really just shows that where there is the will, there is a way. And I think, if COVID's taught us anything, it's that you can make change quickly if you've got the right amount of determination. I think the other thing that it really reinforced was the importance of communication across the whole journey. So early and constant communication across a range of people and stakeholders, engaging with people, being proactive, listening so you can address any concerns. I was really proud at Capricorn of how we lived our values throughout COVID. And as a business and as an industry as a whole, we were really resilient throughout. So being able to support members and suppliers in their time of need, so they were genuinely stronger with Capricorn, and we're seeing the results of that now. We've had both record member and sales growth in the last 12 months, but really living those values, supporting each other, supporting the industry is, some of the key takeaways for me from what we've experienced through COVID.
Yeah, and I think I've seen just about everything that you've described there. I would also add, I think we've also learnt the value of lifestyle downtime as a result of COVID. And Capricorn's members, your members, our clients, they work bloody hard. And I think COVID forced them to realise that they could actually have some balance. Like for a while there, many of the shops, even if they were able to trade still their normal trading hours, they compressed their days down and started having, a little bit of extra downtime. And I think that's one of the best things to come out of COVID, that they can run their business more efficiently without working as hard as what they were. And, we're huge advocates for the 4-day work week at the Workshop Whisperer. We've just released a book on it. Have you seen that amongst the member base as well? People are valuing their downtime more?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think it's really long been an industry challenge. And I think, it's great advice that our members and the members of the industry at large need to look after themselves. So achieving that healthy work-life balance is a major issue for business owners. We see it all the time in the kind of research and things that we do, but taking time off is absolutely crucial for both physical and mental health. And that's probably, it's also a good lesson around making sure that, you invest in your people so that you have that ability to take time off. You really can't underestimate the importance of having that great workplace culture. We know that, unfortunately, the lack of qualified staff is a top challenge for our industry. And with technology evolving at a rapid rate, staying up to date and having the right people is really important. And so making sure that you reward loyal staff, making sure that they're part of the business and the decision-making of the business so that you can take that time off and achieve that balance, and making sure what they do is a really rewarding and challenging experience is really, I think, some great things that have come out of what was, undoubtedly a really challenging time. But we've also seen, and a big focus for us at Capricorn's been around that succession planning, and that's a big part of it. And our State of the Nation research report, which is available on our website, showed a big uptick in the number of member businesses, now at 43%, that have a succession plan in place. And for those that don't, we certainly encourage this as something for people to think about in their business planning and, as you say, achieve a healthier work-life balance.
Definitely. I think COVID's highlighted not only the need for a succession plan, but for a disaster plan and just planning in general. Too many shops go without that kind of structured visioning into the future. And I think this time has definitely highlighted that.
Take a smoke out and review us on your Apple Podcast app or wherever you listen.
So speaking of the future, what are we looking forward to with Capricorn membership? What are the benefits that members can enjoy if the listeners out there are not yet members?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the key part of the Capricorn value proposition is the trade account. And so that gives members instant credit for purchases of goods and services from a wide range of leading preferred suppliers. Really, anything you require to run an automotive business, you can get through your Capricorn trade account. The great benefit for our members is that Capricorn collates all their monthly purchases from all preferred suppliers and issues one single monthly statement. You also get rewarded in the process. So last financial year, as we mentioned at the outset, Capricorn returned to its members over 90 million in direct and indirect value. And we've got one of the most generous reward programs in Australia and New Zealand. And you can use your reward points for anything from paying your trade account to a barbecue, TV, gift cards, and all the way through to travel, which is becoming more relevant now than it perhaps was over the last couple of years. And the other great thing about Capricorn is it's easy to join. So we've got area managers who will take you through the application process. Members come on board on a trial basis initially so you can see if it's right for you. And 24,000 plus automotive businesses can't be wrong. And for the 2,700 that joined last year, they are really enjoying being a Capricorn member and everything they get from their membership.
Definitely. And I know it's not all about the points that you get on your account, but, I just bought a fridge the other day with my points, so I was pretty happy with that for my new house.
It's definitely not all about the points. There's a lot more benefits, but when you're getting a fridge and a barbecue and those other things along the journey, plus pay for your purchases, it all makes sense and it's a great reward.
Yes, definitely. Well, just finally, Brad, moving beyond COVID, what advice do you have for businesses stepping back into normal trading, after what has been this just totally unprecedented, if we can bear hearing that word one more time, this unprecedented time?
Yeah, for me, it really touches on some of the things that you mentioned before. So having a sound business plan in place that contemplates both normal and abnormal trading conditions. So knowing what's your strengths of your businesses, what are some of your weaknesses, what are some things that are kind of opportunities to work on, and what are some of the threats that might impact on your business. So setting short to long-term objectives, having a sound financial management plan and practice are all really important. I think knowing what it costs to run your business and deliver a service to your customers is absolutely critical. So we saw in our State of the Nation research that 54% of members are not basing labour charge-out rates on their internal costs and the requirements of their business. So it's really important that members and members of the industry at large base their costs and expenses and use that to set their charge-out rates. And having the right profit margin gives you the reward that you deserve for all the hard work that you do, but it also gives you the capacity to invest in your business. charging for diagnostics. I'm passionate about this, so I think it's really important that we do charge for diagnostics as an industry. And then the other key tip from me is looking after your customers. Our members always talk about the best thing about working in the industry is making customers happy. That's absolutely fantastic. And I always believe customers should be at the centre of everything we do. Look for ways to improve your service offering, continually add value. But I also talk about openly talking about the value you bring, the years of expertise and knowledge that you've built up. Have the confidence in explaining why it is you charge what you charge. Trust and believe in yourself. Ultimately, give yourself permission to charge what you're worth because you deserve it.
Absolutely agree with every single one of those. And you've touched on one of my pet pieces of you absolutely have to do this or you are stark raving mad with diagnostics and us having to charge. And just to, open that up just quickly, when you're diagnosing, you can't sell parts. Diagnosing is a labour hour thing, and if you are diagnosing, not only do you have to charge for it, but you also have to increase your rate to account for the fact that you're not selling parts during the diagnosing time. If you don't, your gross profit dollar per hour rate will fall, and it will have an impact over the gross profit that you will be able to show in general. So definitely charge for diagnostic, but also increase your rate somewhere between 25 and 50% for that time to account for the fact that you can't sell parts. Sorry, Brad, that was my little rant just to bring that home. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to us. How do our listeners get in contact, just one more time, if they would like to speak to an area manager about the benefits of Capricorn?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they visit www.capricorn, capricorn.coop, COOP, and click on join, fill in the details, and then we'll be in touch and would love to have you join our Capricorn cooperative and deliver real value to your business.
Brad Gannon, CEO of Automotive at Capricorn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for listening to Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple with Rachel Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket. Thanks to titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk and gold sponsor Podium.